Recently, writer and director Rian Johnson was on the Empire Magazine podcast and recently got on the subject of General Leia in space for Star Wars The Last Jedi. This is Mike Zero here once again. If you guys are new here to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. So, one of the big, heavily criticized moments in The Last Jedi is, of course, when General Leia is blown out to space after Kylo Ren's wingmen shoot the missiles at the raddus ship, blowing up the bridge to smithereens, and we see Leia use the Force, and this is the moment that was heavily criticized by a lot of the fans out there. So director and writer Rian Johnson was on the Empire Magazine podcast and wanted to essentially explain this scene in further detail and why he actually chose to put that moment in that way in the motion picture. Now, this is also a response to, of course, the fans' thoughts on that scene. I do know there's a lot of negativity surrounding this scene, so I'm going to get right to Rian Johnson's statement from the podcast right now. So this is what Rian had to say about that scene in the movie. He states, "The idea behind that moment that was in a moment of that, first of all, her use of the Force in that moment is not incredibly powerful. She's in space, which offers no resistance. So actually take much to pull her back in. She is in zero gravity, but also her use of the Force is instinctual." Rian goes on to say, "That was the bigger thing for me, is that it's the equivalent of like when you hear stories about parents who have a toddler trapped under a car, and they lift the car up, they get Hulk strength. It's that idea. This is not going to end today. I'm not finished yet. And that it's almost like just a drowning person. It's clawing their way to the surface the way she pulls her way back." So, what I garnered from this statement by Rian Johnson, what I actually got from this explanation from him, is that he actually said at one point in this statement, alright, he did say that this is a moment where Leia is using the Force, but it's not exactly powerful because she's in zero gravity. She's just using whatever she can to make herself move to get back into the raddus ship. Now, as for what I think about the scene, I have explained this before in the past that, yes, I do understand people's views on how it seemed a little cheesy and people's comments on how she appeared to be something around the lines of Mary Poppins or Superman entering the raddus ship. It was nice, however, to see Leia using the Force. I will say it in that respect, it was cool to see that in space, but I think it could have been done in such a more epic way. For example, if perhaps Kylo Ren decided to press the button from his TIE silencer and shot a couple of missiles at the raddus ship's bridge, blowing it to smithereens, instead of having Leia get sucked out to space, have her on the floor of the bridge after it's pretty much destroyed, and some of the debris comes crashing down toward her. You think she's gonna get crushed. It's a real heart-racing moment, and this is when she uses the Force and pushes the debris away out to space itself. It would be very much similar to what Yoda did in Star Wars Attack of the Clones in my imagination here. And if you ask me, it would have really shown a whole lot more strength for the character. I think that would have been a real good decision if you ask me, and it would have made the Force within Leia seem very strong. Because according to Rian Johnson's statement here is that the Force in that moment is not incredibly powerful because she's in space. So overall, guys, I would really love to hear your input on Rian Johnson's statement of this scene for The Last Jedi, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.